Right, I'm going to be testing some different coir that we've got in. The coir at the moment, we are having some little bit of a trouble with sourcing. It comes from Sri Lanka. It's an organic coir we use. We've got some different ones here, and obviously it's, you know, supply chain, the COVID carnage sort of caused some problems with the supply chain, and I'm making sure that I can get the right coir, because obviously we're certified under the Soil Association, so it's got to be organic, and it's really, really important. So I'm just testing out, because I know that we did sort of ones this sort of size, and we've got these ones, but even though they look a lot smaller, they do expand enough. And I think people may be under the sort of misunderstanding that these have got to be filled really thick with coir, but they don't. It needs a very thin base. It's just something for their roots to get hold of, because actually if you've got really, really thick soil and you're growing something, microgreens on top, the water sort of can get really, really saturated, and it's not great. So the less is better in a lot of ways, actually. So I've just filled up one of these measuring things, because our instructions sort of say sort of 40 to 60 mil. This is 60 mil of hot water. You can use cold, but the difference is it obviously expands a lot quicker with the hot. So I'm going to start pouring this over this one, and that's about 40. I'm just going to leave that one. And then I'm just going to keep filling this up and test these ones as well. See, that one's come up quite quickly, and that's 60. And I have been quite specific with the instructions, but again, use your own judgment a bit, because sometimes they may really need a bit more or a bit less. So just go along. I'm going to make some whole tutorials on each of the kits and get these uploaded for our sort of seasonal subscriptions that are coming. Because even that one here, you can see it's taken it up, and I'm just going to pour a little bit more water because it's not really taking any more. This one here is for our Microgreens XL, and they're little squares, and they sort of say 20 to 40, so I'm just going to put that in there like that. Watch that one expand. And then what we'll do is get a fork and break this up like this, and you'll see sometimes I use enough water there, but if it's a little bit dry in the middle, you can then use some more, tiny bit more water just to do it. So you see it's a very thin covering I'm giving it on that, and spreading it over, and that is perfectly good. That's fine. And here, this one here, so spreading it out. As I said, you don't need it to be thick, so less is better, and this is fine. Obviously for different crops it can be different. For peas and things, obviously that's why we're doing peas separately. I'm just testing out some other growing pots for those. So that's fine, and that's still got sort of quite a lot of water, so I probably won't need to water that again. This one here, that's really taken it up, and it's quite wet. And again, obviously it is thicker, but it's not too thick again. That's fine like that. And again, it looks a little bit soppy, but it'll be fine. There we go. And then this one here, which is like the original one. See, look, so I'm going to open that one, and that you'll see is a little bit dry. So I'm just going to add a little bit more water to that. There, like that. And some of them are a real different texture. Some are sort of thicker than others. Sort of a coarser coir. This one here was really fine. And again, that may affect watering and how much it dries out. But again, with the tutorials, I'll be able to guide you through that, and you will get the hang of it, and you'll learn to, you know, what needs for what and be able to test it. So that one left at that, so it's not as wet as those ones, because obviously I don't put as much water in. So I might give that a sprinkle of water before planting. And then here is the tray. So that one, again, a little bit dry in there. You could wait, you could spread, you could spread it all out and then add some water, but I'm just going to add a little bit more water here. So it just expands, and you can see the water running in, it pulls it in. And those blocks work perfectly in here. They just fit just right. So again, pushing it out like this. Like so. The more you can get out of the coir blocks and spread it between trays, the better. So like this. So that's all of those, and they all look different sizes, and they've all done just as good a job. So I'm going to be sprinkling those with some different seeds. This one here, I will probably give it a little bit of sprinkling of water before planting, even though we water again afterwards, but they do need water to germinate. You're not going to get very far with planting them. You would if you planted them and left them and then watered them sort of each day, but it would take a lot longer. So the more water they have to start with, the better.